Hi, my name is Alessandro Gangelosi and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for Max Cookie. Today I'd like to see how we can prepare a photoreal road with wet effects over just using Mentor-Ray and some procedural maps. So I will create something really simple. So from the top view we create an object and this will be our road, and let's say that it will be maybe 62 meters for, let's see, the scaling, and we can do something like that. Okay, so this will be our main road and we call it main road, and we go to work on this material there. And I like to prepare a really simple scene, so it's not so complex to create some more objects. Let's say, for example, we can create this road that is connected to other road. So we can imagine to have the same road, but we'll do it later, and we can model some stuff on the scene too. So let's go there and let's start preparing some more road, but to do something like that. We check this one and the scaling, let's say 80, 150, and then we go to create a plane, and this one will be 80, 150, 480, I did it 50, so that will be in the same way. Let's align just over the y-axis, and that's okay, and let's go to move it there. Nice. We can make a copy for this one, let's say as an instance, and then we need both, so we can rotate, making with the angle snap a copy, and we have the other road there. Let's see everything, and you see that we have something like a road corner there, and this will be really nice and interesting. So now we need something like the pedestrian level, so we can do something simple. So let's go in this part, and let's say that we have some lines, and we use the angle snap to the vertices. So line to this one, and this one. Perfect. Now we go near the middle there, the middle point, with no snap, so S key. We select these vertices, and we can use the maybe directly the fillet, so we can do something like that, a curvy corner, and then we can move this one. We'll use the move transform type in. So let's say that we have something like that. Okay, so back and side, and we select this spline, and we go for the outline. But maybe it is better to do the outline now. Then we can select this one, and we go to have the fillet, and then we can move, and we can move this one too, and this one too. So I try to have the better position there for both objects, and this one over the x-axis, y-axis. Okay, so this one is called center road, and this one can be called pedestrian, just because it's the side where the pedestrian can work. and we can extrude it. And we can extrude just a little bit, let's say maybe 10 centimeters. Okay. I think we have some problem with the normal. Let's see with the normal. No, it's okay. Let's see with the shaded mode. Okay. So we can do a copy of this one using the instance over the y-axis, and we can move it over the top. And then we can select both using the Control key, and then again a mirror over the y-axis as distance, and then we can move it. Okay, so we have our cross section ready for this road. So we can maybe just put some kind of wall there, just to have something to play with. So let's create a box to imagine that we have something there. And this one can be called building. And maybe we can do the same later for the other, but actually it's not important. So we have to start to have the needs to have a lighting, and we'll use mental ray for the rendering. So we use basic feature in 3ds Max. So let's go to have mental ray. If you have the old mental ray, now we'll use the final gather, but you know, you have the final gather, the illumination, and we'll use the image based lighting to have a better quality rendering. So let's go to use a skylight, and in this case let's say show safe frame using the Shift F key, and we can change a little bit the position there to have a better let's create maybe a camera, and let's change let's go for 55, and we move the camera near, and let's go for something like that. So that's something simple, but it's nice to see how it can look. And let's think to have also a terrain down. So let's do something like that. Let's call it terrain, and it should be bigger, really big, and it will stay just a little bit down. Okay, and this one is the terrain, and save. So we have this kind of illumination. We can go to render to see what happened inside the viewport. So you see we have an illumination done just using the skylight, using the grain because we have obviously let's say the grain due to the quality we are using. But before, I like to change there, let's say 30, and then we move all this objects down so we have the right collision with this ground there. Okay, let's start working on the first road, and let's call it asphalt. We'll use no texture, so we'll do everything just using the substance material. We can use an Archon design material, so we can go in the color and we choose substance. We go to load the texture, and we have asphalt, or we have, let's see, road 1 and road 2. Let's see if this one is better than the other. So let's go inside. Let's see road 2. Okay, let's try with this one. So this one will be visible, and we go inside the global substance, but we need before to rotate the map by 90 degrees, and we need for sure more tiling over the V-axis, something like that. And then let's say that we can remove the blurring, and we can assign the same material to all the roadside. We need a better quality for the texture, so the texture size will be absolute, and we'll go to have the 2 key version. Save, and we can see how it looks. Obviously you see it's simple. Now we have reflectivity because the material, material from the Arcan design have reflection by default. So we go there and we remove the reflectivity just using the reflectivity set to 0. Then we need something for this part, and we can do a material layer to have a nice illumination and the right looking. We have this skylight, and I like to use an HDR map I just prepared before. So we go there, bitmap, and inside the folder where you have downloaded the tutorial, you can pick a texture, this one, the Sky EXR. You can load it, and you see that's a map I just prepared using Tergen 3.0. Let's say that we have no blurring, and then let's go to pick the light, and we'll use this one as map, and we can see the illumination. In this case, you see that it's changed, and we have the illumination that is taking care about the direction of our map. We can also put this map inside the environment, so we can use this one as map, and if we check the rendering, you see that we have the map used also as environmental map. So that's a way to have also the reflection. Obviously we are not taking care about the quality of this map because actually we just need to play with the material. So let's start playing with the material to have a nice look for the illumination. And the first thing we need is to have the illumination and the reflection. So back to the material, and we have there just a map for the diffusion. I like to play with this one and to make something related to have some wetting. When we have the wet, we have a darker color because the material is wet. So to have something like that, we need a composite map, key pull map, and we'll have another layer over this one. This layer will be a noise. That's obviously if you have a map made by hand, you can use it, but we use a procedure to be faster and simpler. You see that we have just a simple map, but we need to create the puddles, and to create the puddles we can use the turbulence. We can have, let's see the map, a bigger scale, let's say 250, and then let's go to have 0.35 and 0.32, so the map you see will be really precise, and an higher level to have more details all around. So I like to render to see if the scaling is right or I'm doing something wrong, but it seems that the scaling is nice. So let's set to off the render, and then we have to use this one as a multiply. And to do something like that, you see that the map is white where we have the puddle, so we have to swap the color, and then let's remove the adaptive degradation, and we use this one as a multiply. So in this way we'll have less color where we have the black, but we can say, for example, to have 50. If we go to render, you see that we are starting to have some puddle over the ground. So now we have to say how much reflectivity we have over this road. It is wet, so it was rainy, so we like to have a lot of reflection. To have a lot of reflection, we can start to have max reflectivity, and then we can say to use the IRR, and we'll use a really high IRR to have the right reflectivity. Let's say, for example, 14. So you see that now it is like a glass reflection, so it will be completely reflective. If we go to render just maybe a piece of the road, we'll obtain something really reflective, as we can see. So we see a perfect reflection for this one that will be the building, reflectivity for the top area where we have the sky, and that's not nice. We have to have maximum reflectivity where we have the puddles, and less reflectivity where we have no puddles, because it was rainy some minutes ago, so we need to have less wet effects where we have no puddle. To have this kind of effects, we have to use the puddle map to create the reflectivity. But you know, the reflectivity is given also by the map to control the reflectivity, and that's interesting because we can use this one. So we go in the maps, and we use this one on the reflection color as a copy, and you see that something is changing. Don't see this one, and we have this map as reflection, and we have actually the ground. And if we go with this one is clear, so we'll have a nice reflectivity all around, but we like to have a more reflectivity where we have the puddle. So something that can be done is to say that this one is visible, and we have something like maybe 90 there to have less reflectivity, and there we can have, for example, 160. So you see we have more reflectivity there. We can stay with the other parameters, and then we go there, and we say to use this one as addition, and maybe we can stay with the 50%. So we'll see now how much reflectivity we have. It is still too much, so we I can say to use this one but darker. So we go for, let's say, maybe 0.45, and this one will be an addition, but we'll use a darker color for the addition there. So we have more reflectivity on the puddles and less reflectivity on the other area. If we go to render, we should have more reflectivity over the puddles and less over the road. Obviously, we'll see later if that is enough or we need a little bit more reflectivity. Okay, we have the reflection, so we can play, let's say that we have maybe the complete view rendering. Let's say, so we have a nice reflection control, and I like to control also the reflection glossiness, because actually we have a nice glossiness due to the actually this complete reflective, but I like to have a glossiness over the asphalt and no glossy over the puddle. So we can use a reflection glossiness, and we go for composite, The first one will be an RGB tint, so we give a basic amount of glossiness. Let's go for black there and black there. We use a gray, and we can start with let's say 200. So in this way we are saying how much glossiness we have. So if we like to change the level of glossiness, we have just to play with this one, and you see that we have still less or more glossy reflection. Let's see what happened with this parameter. It seems not bad as reflection level, glossiness level. So let's go to have a control to say what do we have where we have the puddles. So we can go inside the color, copy this map with the right mouse button, and in the glossiness we can paste, and this one we'll need to have black color there, and we'll have white color over the puddle. Then we say that this map is used obviously as addition, and it will be, let's say, maybe we can stay with 100. So if we go to render again, we should have glossy over the road, and we should have no glossy where we have the puddles. And that's right. I think we can have a little bit more reflectivity over the asphalt. So we need, maybe we can go higher there over the puddle, and a little bit higher over the other part of the asphalt. Okay, we need obviously also a bump, and the bump too must be tweaked because we need to work with the right bumping. So let's use an eye parameters. Let's go for 2, and we'll use let's say that we have something like something irregular. So we go to have let's use the same map we have there inside the color, and we'll use it in the bump, but then we have to work with it. So the first level will be this one, and we say to use it as a bump map. So now if we go to render, we should have the right bump. So then we can tune also the reflection level as needed. So for the bumping we have a composite there, so we have the road, and then I like to use the map over the texture we are preparing. So what we have to use is this one, use as mask, so swoop. And let's say that this one will be a normal, and we have to use it. So we like to have white over the puddle and black over the road, and we'll have some kind of noise over there. So we use, let's say, a noise, and this noise will be little. So let's imagine that this one is really big, is 250, so we can use this one that's 60, maybe we can use also 30, and back, and just let's render this area to see how it is looking. I think we can have a more little scale there. Let's try with 10, and then we can check it. So to have something more interesting, we can play with bigger building, and to make this building we need something, let's say building, and we can assign a material. Obviously we'll prepare something really simple, and let's say that we have no reflectivity, and we'll use a substance because it is just to understand how it is working. Let's try with brick wall, and inside this map we need for sure more. Let's go for 10 and 10. Maybe let's go for a better resolution, and let's change the color. So let's see that we have a little bit more saturation and a little bit less for luminosity. Okay, and I like to see what we have in render. So you see something really simple, and let's imagine that we have another building there, and this one have another material, building 02, and this one will have another texture. Let's go for the building brick wall 02, or maybe we can go for concrete tile, and let's go to have less. Let's do 5 and 5. Maybe we can say to have a little bit of reflectivity with the same map as a copy, but this map will be used as peculiarity, and then we have a glossy reflection. And let's go in the rendering and let's move. Okay, just you see, it is just to have something inside the road, so nothing so precise. Let's go to have this one and this one, or maybe we can do something different. So let's make a copy and not a clone, and not an instance. And this one will have another material. This one is the building 03 with a different map, and we use the other brick wall, and we can assign, and let's say that we have maybe, let's do 6 and 4. Okay, and we do the same for the reflectivity. So we go in the color reflection, make a copy. We have maximum reflectivity. This one is the specular, and we have the glossiness. Okay, so in the render we can try to render this area and render. So you see that it is starting to have a different look, because obviously we have a more complex illumination. We can do the same for the other parts. So let's say that we have this one on the other side of the road too, and it's a copy, and this will be higher, and we go to have a different material, we make a copy, and this one is the building part 4, and we go to change the texture with the other brick wall, the 3, and we get to have the same texture over there too. And we can assign, and then we can go to change to have something more interesting for the visualization there. And let's say that we can have this one, we make a clone, and we move it, so we can have another building there, an higher building. Maybe we can do with 2 models. Okay, so let's save. And I like to play a little bit with the this other model, but before I like to tune up the asphalt, and to do this we need to make a rendering. So we remove the render region, render. Okay, from this photo view we have a more clear vision of what we are doing. So first of all, the bump is too much, so let's go for 0.1, and this one is let's say a little bit too big. Let's go for 15, and we say that this one is 0.35, so we can render just the puddle to see how it is looking. It is still too much, so we can go lower. Let's say maybe 15 and render. Okay, you see that we have just a little bit of bumping. Then we have to use a different glossy over the road, so we can go in the glossiness, and actually that's the map, so we need a darker color. This one is black and that's nice. This one is the starting color is too much, so let's try to render. So you see that now it is a better. Maybe we can need a higher reflectivity, so let's go there, and we can go for a brighter color and a brighter color for the dark area too. Let's see. Okay, so you see we have a nice reflectivity over the road too, and the quality of the map obviously is nothing so special because we are using this texture, but if you use a proper map downloaded, you will obtain a really nicer look. So let's do the same for the other materials. So we need to work on this one, and to do something like that we can go at the top and we copy this one and we call it asphalt center, assign, and let's go on the first map there, and in the substance we go to road, we load the asphalt. It should be okay. Okay, perfect. And let's go in the other map. So we have the map obviously there, and there we load the asphalt, and we should do the same for the others too. So we have the glossiness, and there we have just the maps for the procedural thing. So we have in the composite there, we need to load in the bump the asphalt. Back in the render there, and we can load this part, make a test. But before, I like to just to see there the repetition, so we have to tune up a little bit. And let's go in the diffuse, the first map, and the tiling I think it's wrong obviously. So we have to use the same 8 and 8 because we used this one for the other map, and same there, 8 and 8. And just to see, I think we made a mistake there in the reflection color. This one is a specular map, and the same on the reflection. No, we have to go in the bump and 8 and 8. So we can go also on the top on this one, and the specular color there, it's a specular map. Okay, back in the camera and save, and we can render. Okay, so first of all, you see that this one is more clear. So if you like to have a darker asphalt for the side, obviously we are using two different maps, but you can make it manually. You can go there in the composite, and that's the bump, Let's go in the diffuse, and we say to this one to be darker. Let's say maybe just a little bit. And then you see that the reflectivity is nice over this area. It is really not bad. Maybe we can have a little bit more glossiness if needed, or we can have also a little bit more bumping. So maybe we can go there and try to have more bumping to see what happens, but I like to see the map. And let's see the result. Okay, so you see we have a little bit more differences over the road, and we can have still a little bit more glossiness, just a little bit. So we can go in the glossiness map, and in the addition color, sorry, in the basic color, we can have a little bit a darker color. We should have a better result, and we can also use a darker luminosity for this map. Let's try with 0.42. It is a little bit better, but now it needs to be clear. And also there we can use in the glossiness map a darker color at the beginning. And let's do the same for this one. And let's see. Okay, you see it's better. So save. Let's do something for the pedestrian level there. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. And let's call it pedestrian. And we go again to have an arc in the sign. No reflectivity for the moment, and we need to have some kind of color. So let's see what happens if we have a gradient ramp. And I like to see this map. So we can go to have we have this map, but I like to see how it is looking. So go in isolation and go in orthographic, remove the grid using the G key. And let's start using a different color. So I think we have some kind of problem to visualize the mapping there, and that's not nice. So we have to do something different. And I mean, we can do, okay, I was just making some tests to see when we look at the map. So let's imagine that there we have a clear gray, and there we have the same color. So right mouse button, copy, and then paste. And let's move. And let's try to render. So we have a clear area, and then everything is really dark. Okay. So let's imagine that this one, edit properties, stays at 99, and this one, edit properties 98, and that's a dark gray. And then copy and put on this one, paste. Let's see the result. So you see we have a clear area at the end and a darker area. So that's the camera, and let's see what happens if we have the solid. This one can be removed, and this one is at 99. Let's try to have maybe 0.2 or maybe 0.99. Let's say 0.995 and the same there. Okay, something like that. We use this one over another map, so let's go for a composite keep all map, and this one will be again a substance. We'll use the asphalt or maybe another one, now we see. So let's go for a substance, lot substance, texture, and we can also go for, let's say that we have a concrete pavement or maybe a concrete, yes, let's go for a concrete pavement. Okay, and let's go there, and this one is visible, let's say maybe 10 and 10, 20, 20, let's go for 25 and 25. We can move this one down and this one up. This one will be let's say an average, and let's see if in rendering it works. So we'll have some clear there and the darker on the other side. Perfect. So let's copy this one, and we go to have this one as reflection, and this one will be a specular map, and this one will be lower, let's say 25. We'll have maybe 0.5, and for the moment we go for, let's say 0.5 for the reflectivity. So we can adjust the bumping too, and then copy, and then we go for first of all we need a little bit more reflectivity. Let's go for 4, and then paste, and this one will be the bump. Let's see again. It seems not bad. Maybe we need just a little bit more reflectivity, so let's go for 6 for the reflection, maybe 8 and 0.7, and then we see another test. So you see that we have the reflectivity, and that's nice because obviously it is wet. So I think we are near to have the final result. We have to find our right resolution, so let's go for, let's say 900 and 400, and that's not bad. Let's move forward there. Let's see a little test just to see if it is nice. That's not bad. If you like to have a different illumination, we can go in the map that now is used as map for the lighting, and we can pick a color correction, keep all map, and we can go to have a little bit more contrast. So we should have more defined shadows and less general lighting, so it will be darker. It will be more dark as lighting, you see, and that's maybe a little bit too much. Let's go for 8 and see again. Okay, and save. So we can tune a little bit the the rendering parameters. So let's say that we go for maybe 0.5 for the quality actually, and for the global illumination we need less grain, so let's go for 0.8, and better lighting with medium, 1 or 2 bounces. Let's see the result, and you see that the quality is really not bad. So maybe we can just have a little bit higher, because we are going to render at higher resolution. Let's go for 0.75, and we use our final rendering resolution. Let's go for 1280, and that's also we are ready to have a nice looking wet road with wet material done in Array. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.